Michael sent "I love you" to the wrong number. That text stopped a woman from jumping off a bridge. 10 years later, she found him to say thank you, but that message had saved her life and destroyed his marriage. Sometimes the right thing costs everything, and sometimes we'd still do it anyway. 2:17 a.m. Michael Stevens sat on the edge of his bed, staring at his phone. His wife Rachel was in the guest room. Again. They'd been fighting for months, about everything, about nothing. The kind of fights that start about dishes and end with, "Maybe we made a mistake." Tonight had been the worst one yet. Rachel had said things, Michael had said things, words that couldn't be taken back. But Michael wasn't ready to give up. 10 years of marriage, 10 years of memories, of laughter, of building a life together. It couldn't end like this, over stupid arguments about who forgot to pay the electric bill or who spent too much on groceries. Michael opened his messages, started typing to Rachel. His hands shook. "One last time, I love you, let's try again, please." He pressed send. Then he waited, stared at the screen, waiting for the 3 dots, waiting for any sign that Rachel was willing to fight for them too. But no response came. Michael set his phone down. Maybe she was asleep. Maybe she was ignoring him. Maybe it was already over and he was the last to accept it. What Michael didn't know was that he'd typed Rachel's number wrong, 1 digit off, the 5 instead of a 6. A mistake so small it was almost invisible. But that small mistake meant his message didn't go to Rachel. It went to a stranger, to Emma Chen, who at that exact moment was standing on the Jefferson Street Bridge, looking down at the water 40 feet below. Emma was 32 years old. She'd been depressed for 3 years, since her mother died, since she lost her job, since her fiancé left. She'd tried therapy, tried medication, tried pretending everything was fine. But the weight kept growing, heavier every day, until tonight, when she decided she couldn't carry it anymore. Emma had written letters to her father, to her sister, to the few friends who still checked on her. She'd said goodbye in careful, apologetic words. Then she'd walked to the bridge. It was cold, quiet, nobody around at 2 a.m. Emma stood at the railing, looked down at the dark water, thought about how easy it would be. 1 step, then nothing. No more pain, no more pretending to be okay. Just peace. Emma put her hands on the railing, started to climb over, then her phone buzzed in her pocket. She almost ignored it. Who would text her at 2 a.m.? But something made her check. Maybe habit, maybe curiosity, maybe fate. Emma pulled out her phone. 1 new message, unknown number. "One last time, I love you, let's try again, please." Emma stared at the screen. Wrong number, obviously. Someone had texted the wrong person, but someone, somewhere, loved someone. Someone was fighting for their relationship. Someone believed love was worth one more try. Emma read the message again. One last time. Someone was asking for another chance, and the person they loved might actually give it to them. Emma stepped back from the railing, put her phone in her pocket, and started walking home. She didn't know why, didn't have a plan, but that message had broken something open in her mind. Someone out there believed in second chances. Maybe she could too. Maybe one last time was worth trying. Michael woke up the next morning, checked his phone. No response from Rachel. The message showed delivered, but no reply. Michael's heart sank. He got up, made coffee, went to work, came home. Rachel barely spoke to him. 3 days later, she asked for a divorce. "I can't do this anymore, Michael. We're not happy, haven't been for a long time." Michael tried to argue, tried to fight, but Rachel had made up her mind. The divorce took 6 months. Michael moved into a small apartment, split everything they'd built together, the furniture, the savings, the memories. Michael kept looking at his phone, at that unanswered message. One last time. "I love you." He'd tried. He'd really tried. But sometimes trying isn't enough. Emma, meanwhile, started rebuilding. She went back to therapy, actually committed this time, started taking her medication consistently, reached out to her sister. Slowly, painfully, she started feeling like maybe life was worth living. She thought about that text message often, the stranger who'd accidentally saved her life. She wanted to thank them, wanted them to know what their words had done. 10 years passed. Emma turned 42. She had a job she liked, a small apartment, a rescue dog named Bailey. She wasn't perfect, still had hard days, but she was alive, and she was grateful. One night, Emma was cleaning out old phones, found the one from that night, charged it up, scrolled through old messages, found the text, "One last time. I love you." Emma stared at the number. After 10 years, would it still work? Would the person even remember? Emma sent a message. "I know this is strange. 10 years ago, you sent a text to this number by mistake. It said, 'One last time, I love you.' I want you to know that message saved my life. I was about to end everything. Your words stopped me. I don't know who you are, but thank you." She sent it, didn't expect a response. But 30 minutes later, her phone buzzed. "Who is this?" Emma explained, told the whole story, about the bridge, about the message, about the 10 years since. The response came slowly. "I'm glad you're alive, but I need to tell you something. That message was meant for my wife. I sent it to the wrong number. She never saw it. We got divorced a week later." Emma felt like she'd been punched. "I'm so sorry." "Don't be. You're alive. That matters. But your marriage failed anyway. Would have failed whether I sent that text or not. At least something good came from it. They agreed to meet. Coffee shop, neutral territory. Emma got there first, nervous, grateful, guilty. Michael walked in 10 minutes later. He was 55 now, graying, tired-looking, but kind eyes. They sat down, ordered coffee. Neither of them drank. "I don't know how to thank you," Emma started. "You don't need to," Michael said. "I didn't do anything. You saved my life. I sent a text to the wrong number. That's not heroism. That's a mistake." "It was my miracle," Emma said. "I was going to jump." "Your message stopped me." Michael was quiet for a long time. Then, "I'm glad." "Really? But I need you to understand something. That message was supposed to save my marriage. I was trying to reach my wife, tell her I loved her one more time. She never got it. We divorced. I've been alone for 10 years. Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I'm so sorry. If I'd known, what would you have done differently? Not stayed alive?" "I don't know. Maybe." "Don't," Michael said firmly. "Don't ever think that. A marriage ending is sad. You dying would have been a tragedy. Those aren't the same. But you lost everything because of me." "No, I lost everything because my marriage was already broken. Your life being saved didn't cause my divorce. My divorce was happening regardless." Emma wiped her eyes. "Do you ever regret it?" "That text?" Michael considered the question carefully. "I regret losing Rachel. I regret 10 years of being alone, but no, I don't regret the message. Because you're sitting here, alive. That matters more than my failed marriage." "How can you say that? You don't even know me." "I know you were worth saving. That's enough." They talked for 2 hours, about Emma's recovery, about Michael's life post-divorce, about the strange twist of fate that had connected them. When they finally stood to leave, Emma hugged Michael, held on tight. "Thank you," she whispered. "You're welcome," Michael said, but his eyes looked sad. Michael walked home alone, went to his small apartment, looked at his phone. That message from 10 years ago was still there. "One last time. I love you." He'd meant it for Rachel, but it had gone to Emma, and Emma was alive because of it. Michael would never know if Rachel would have responded if she'd gotten the message, would never know if it would have saved their marriage. All he knew was that a stranger was alive, and somehow that had to be enough. Emma went home that night and cried, for Michael, for his sacrifice, for the marriage he'd lost, for the decade he'd spent alone. She wanted to do something, wanted to make it right. But there was nothing to do, nothing to fix. Michael had paid a price for her life, and he'd done it without even knowing. The guilt was overwhelming. She texted him 2 days later. "I keep thinking about what you lost." His response, "I keep thinking about what you gained. Life, that's not nothing. I feel guilty." "Don't. You didn't cause my divorce. You just happened to be the reason I know it wasn't completely meaningless." They stayed in touch, not close friends, but occasional messages, updates on life. Emma told Michael when she got promoted at work. Michael told Emma when he adopted a cat. Small connections, enough to remind each other they existed, that the strange night that had connected them still mattered. 5 years after they met, Emma texted Michael on the anniversary of that night. 15 years since you saved my life, Michael responded. 15 years since my message found the right person, even though it was the wrong number. Do you think everything happens for a reason? Emma asked. Michael thought for a long time before responding. I think we make meaning out of what happens. My marriage ended. Your life was saved. I choose to believe the second thing matters more than the first. Michael never remarried, never dated much. He told himself he was fine alone, and mostly he was. But sometimes, late at night, he looked at that old message. One last time. I love you. And he wondered what would have happened if he'd typed the number correctly, if Rachel had seen it, if she'd responded, if they'd tried again. But then he thought about Emma, about her being alive, about 15 years of life she wouldn't have had. And he decided that even if he could go back and fix the mistake, he wouldn't, because one life was worth one marriage, even if it was his own. Sometimes our smallest mistakes have the biggest consequences. Michael's wrong number saved Emma's life and cost him his marriage. He said he'd make the same mistake again, because some things matter more than our own happiness. If this story made you think about sacrifice, about unintended consequences, about what we owe to strangers, subscribe. We tell stories that don't have easy answers.